what do you think? Like, crying is good, crying is important, crying is fine as a human emotion, or no? You mentioned romantic relationships. Can we talk
Mhm.
about that? Hey, what? An interesting question. What do you
Okay.
think a girl
Hmm.
expects from a guy in a relationship?
Okay, in general, from my perspective, what do I seek in a man, or I think girls in general seek in a man? Um,
Great, great answer. See, I think that I've seen you doing a podcast with Suresh sir. Am I right?
yes, yes,
See,
yes,
yeah,
you
oh
are.
shit. Now this is a crazy podcast that we've done with Vamika Jain. Then the queen of podcast sitting in front of me, huh?
Oh, please no. Just do one.
Am I enough? What am I doing? Is this really me? Why do
Who
I
am I
feel
without success?
lost? Am I enough? Why can't I slow down? Maybe it's okay.
Okay, we have another guest, Vamika Jain. Hello, Vamika. How are you? Welcome to our podcast.
I am doing great. How about you? And thank you for having me.
Go on, Vamika, introduce yourself. Yep. Okay.
Hi, Dhruvi, and for guests. So, thank you for having me, first of all, on this podcast. About me would be that I'm currently 19 and pursuing BBA like Dhruvi. Further on, I see myself into the intersection of entrepreneurship and international public policy. So, yeah, I do enjoy a bit of everything. So, be it reading or debating with you. So, yeah, let's see how it goes.
Yeah. Do you have any hobbies? Just jumping on
Yeah,
to hobbies
current.
though. Yeah.
Okay. What I do in my free time, hobbies per se would be dancing, badminton, and I currently started learning horse riding, so that's a bit tricky. Yeah,
Oh,
a bit there.
wow.
Mm.
Great,
Wouldn't
great.
say it as a hobby, but yeah, just started learning. Yeah,
New, yeah. Yeah, learning something new. Yeah. How long has it been learning horse riding?
not long, a week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm. What do you think like hobbies do to us? Like I feel like they have a good role, especially on a mental health. Do you think so?
Actually, yes. Uh, Currently, the way our education system is designed and the social systems are designed, we are generally pushed more towards academics or in persuasion of our career alone.
Yeah.
So, in terms of having hobbies, it elevates your stress levels or reduces your stress levels, helps you navigate life in general, adds to your confidence as well, and adds bit to your personality at the end. So that gives you confidence and ultimately, sure, helps the mental health as well.
Yeah, so we were talking about hobbies, right? And their role on mental health. Um,
Yes.
okay, a very philosophical and a very kind of an academic question. What do you think mental health is basically? Like, do you have any perspective on health, maybe as like overall, that could even relate to physical health as well, or maybe yeah, mental health also, if that could include anything. It's a bit more
Sure.
philosophical though, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I believe obviously health in general needs to be groomed, be it mental, be it physical. Obviously, over the time, as a society, without the Western influence, India after independence, I would say, was more into physical health. But seeing India's civilization, or you're reading the scriptures, Vedas, India from the very starting has been spiritual, or take any religion for that matter. So talking from that historical perspective and now talking about the reality that we as teenagers face, obviously mental health is a requirement of today. And I think India is moving towards it because mainly of the Western influence and then bit of connecting with the roots of our civilization. So yeah, we're getting back to mental health. It's no longer a taboo. So glad that happened. And but a lot needs to be done there in the sense that
Yeah.
schools, education system, schools, they need to promote more up. They need to have more counselors and talk openly about certain stuff. Yeah. Did I answer your question, by the
Yeah.
way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Um, I feel like, yeah. So, so even I feel so that things are improving, but there's still a lot more that has to be done. As you said,
Mhm.
counselors, psychologists, they do have a role, but in India, we have a bit, we don't have that much of focus on that part, or maybe that isn't much valued at this point of time. But yeah, I feel like things would improve. Yeah, cool. So, hmm, by the way, this is our second woman podcast. Okay, I didn't mention in the beginning, but it's really cool. We had Devanshi earlier, right? You saw that. I don't know if you see that. Um, so
I mean,
so I feel like woman. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
sorry to cut. I'm saying you're the woman figure common throughout. So it's never been the second woman. It's always been a woman podcast. And for that matter, it's more about the first guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Um, so anyway, okay, I feel like women in general have a feminine aspect that brings more of a topic which is related to self-love. Okay. You know,
Yeah.
you know, um, um, was I audible? You heard me,
Uh,
right?
oh yeah. I
Yeah.
think you talked about
Okay.
feminine aspect of self-love. It's more there in women. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
feel like, yeah, the feminine aspect has a bit more focus on self-love and self-caring, self-healing aspect, right? Um,
Okay.
anything you feel, you could tell about self-love or something that you practice for self-love, maybe. Um, yeah.
Okay. Interesting question, first of all. My views are a bit different, to be honest, Ruby. Which is that if we look at the history, let's talk about our society and not something of our our mothers, our grandmothers, our ancestors. They're not much into self-love. They have more been women who have sacrificed for their society or for societal roles for that matter. So I'd say uh, maybe in today's generation, yes, self-love is more prominent. People are more aware they have to take care of themselves. But it's general in both men and women and not that differentiated. But I see a point, and in my case, my answer for self-love, um, I mean, it kind of would be hard to answer, to be honest. How to practice self-love? I guess
That's okay. It's
trying to
fine.
give
If
positive, trying to give positive affirmations to yourself in when you're feeling at your lowest is a form of self-love you
yeah.
must practice. And giving yourself treats out of the blue is also a very crazy kind of self-love. So yeah, you're like happy you did something. So and you end up treating yourself. So I think that is something I do practice and everyone should. Yeah.
An example of positive affirmation you give? Like I will, that kind of
Yeah.
that kind of affirmation. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
sometimes in your low times, you end up comparing yourselves to other people, right? So you're like, I'm not doing enough. And then but then you end up reinforcing yourself, okay, I might have not done enough, but this is the time I do. And this, you know your potential, and then you end up pumping yourself that way. You see yourself as the future self, and then that's how.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm. I feel like we kind of see ourselves with the results that we get. And that probably should not be the case. As you said, comparison happens then only. Um, so okay, at there might be situations where you might not be able to see some results, right? You've given your best, but you might not be able to see your results. Anything anything that you would do in such a situation, I'm sure, because I'll be honest, I in those cases I feel very confused. I feel like I've lost it. I feel like, okay, if there's no point of doing something if I'm putting my 100% but I'm not seeing the result. Any insight on that part? If you feel so, if you feel low, or yeah.
Yes, I have to have something. I would say it's easy to say, believing the process, not the result, but we do end up getting confused in the process itself and doubting our own abilities. For that,
Yeah.
I look at what Steve Jobs, has said, and it has been quoted time and again, which is connecting the dots to the past. And what I relate to the most is that not just connecting the dots to the past, sorry, connecting the dots to the future, it would also be the fact that hold the anchor, be it karma, be it your spiritual God, be it universe, be it cosmos, be it your own self. So hold the anchor, believe in that, be it your God, be it anything for that matter. So holding to that anchor and believing in that as well pushes you in the process itself.
So basically, you're saying that probably this thing that's happening for a reason, right? If even if the result happening for a reason, right? I hope I hope the
Your
network was fine.
voice,
You were able to hear me.
no,
Yeah,
I couldn't
it
hear what you
cracked.
said.
Okay, okay, sorry. Am I audible? Am I audible now? Sorry, yaar, for this network thing. I'll need to fix this. Yeah, this is not going right.
Just,
Am I audible now?
you are.
हाँ. So I was basically saying कि to what you said, huh? That I feel like this probably what we should have in our mind is that it's happening for a reason. If things are not going right at this point of moment, probably it's happening for a reason. Probably it's happening for some better future or some.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit.
Agreed. Yes. Yeah, no, I heard that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Cool. Do you have a spiritual god though? You said some anchor. Do you have an anchor?
I change at times, to be honest. That's really bad. But okay, one, I do believe in karma for sure. Second, I am like a
Yeah.
follower of certain dharms. So for me, it's generally Shri Hanumanji or Ma Durga. But at the end, it's
Oh wow.
always, what Rita also preaches, karma karte jao to. Yeah, it's always karma.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. Cool. Okay. Shifting to another topic. How do you practice self-confidence? You very confident though. Must appreciate it. Uh,
Fake
any
it till
any
you make it,
insights
I'd say.
on
I was
yeah,
like, fake it till you make it. Yeah, fake it till you make it.
yeah. Yeah.
Any insights on
Okay.
self-confidence?
That's the only insight you'd like to give, huh? Yeah, okay.
Now,
Yeah.
yeah, apart from that, it would
Yeah.
be yeah, push yourself outside the comfort zone. I think Professor Suresh Pagutala in his conveyance also, always mentions this, that you have to push yourself outside your comfort zone, and that's the only way you get to learn, build confidence. So that first step is always difficult, and then building that second step, you always look back to first step. कि इससे तो अच्छा ही होगा, and I think you end up gaining the self confidence you require. So yeah, just the first step is like just have that 10 seconds of foolishness, or do not think about what others will say, just 10 seconds. So, and just ask away, just do that thing, don't care about what others say. I think from the very starting, why I have a bit of confidence of what you mentioned is because I didn't much care of what others will think about me. So yeah, that.
You're not a people pleaser, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Thankfully. I mean, at times, people are mix
Yeah.
of it. You cannot, we end up defining people as that I'm a people pleaser, I'm not. But people are always a mix of everything. So at times, I'm not denying I may be, but in general, it's not inherited. Uh, I don't care much. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Um, um, you said that it's important to come out of your comfort zone and not care what people are thinking and do things, do stuff. What if we fail? There could be times you might fail. What if you fail?
I think that's what stops people from getting out of comfort zone in the first place, the fear of failing and everything. Even the fear of public
Yeah,
speaking is the biggest fear than the fear of death. So,
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, statistics prove that. I'm quite shocked. So, what if we fail is obviously we'll fail. That's the first stepping stone of success. Failure is a success itself, as is put it. So, we'll fail. There's no doubting that. Point is, you'll have to do it no matter what. Failure is not an option. It is something that will happen, and we have to say yes to it. I mean, at the end, we're talking about it, and it sounds easy to just say that failure will happen. But yeah, talking to
Yeah.
people about it and getting your close ones pump you enough, I think that helps you. So yeah.
Mm, yeah. So basically, we could say that failure do happen, but learning from it, getting up, staying true, and keep showing up, that's probably more important, right?
100%.
Um, hey, what if so what's happened with me is I've failed many times, I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And when I failed, I happened to cry. Like I do cry. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um, what do you think? Like crying is good, crying is important, crying is fine as a human emotion or no?
Obviously, it is. I think crying in front of your close people, or be able to accept the fact that you do cry and be able to cry in front of people, it's the
Yeah.
strongest thing that you can do. It shows your strength, that you can be emotionally open with people and you're not holding yourself or your emotions back. So it is something that we should openly talk about and openly do in front of our close ones, obviously.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Not in
at the
front
end,
of
what is
everybody, of
crying?
course, but yeah. I mean, holding on to things I feel and just being like, okay, I'm very this thing. I won't cry. That's not
Yeah,
probably good for your own health, right?
true, true, true.
Perfect.
I mean, I might be a bit hypocritical here because I myself am a non-cry person. But yeah, you're right. One should cry. At the end, what is crying? It's a
I mean,
crying
that's
happens
okay.
when there's too much of an emotion, right? So, and
Yeah,
letting your cry follow, letting your tears follow down, it's a way of letting things go. So it helps a lot. Yeah,
it does help. Yeah. It
yeah,
helps you, it helps your bad energy go away, right? So yeah.
yes,
Mm,
yes.
do you think friendships and relationships help in such a situation, especially when you're going through bad phase or you're crying or you're going through a lot of bad energy? Do you think?
Obviously, yes. Friendships and relationships, and I think sometimes as teenagers we also do not count relationships के अंदर, we just count the romantic ones, we do not count the relationships of siblings, of parents. So I think every relationship, as long as you're close to them, as long as you're emotionally connected, or even sometimes we're not emotionally connected to parents as we would like to be, but once you open to them, you'll be surprised how much they support you and how much they trust you. So, and that trust or that support that helps you navigate the whole hurdle of your life uh, very seamlessly.
Yeah.
And same with friendships, actually, when there's a person who is believing in you and it charges you up, it charges your confidence. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And can you be vulnerable? Can you be vulnerable in front of those people? Yeah.
Ideally you
Like
should be. can
absolutely vulnerable.
can am I completely vulnerable in front of my relationships? No, and honest answer is no. I'm a bit of private person,
Yeah.
so I'm a bit of private person. But I think amongst the audience, I was listening to other people. They were sharing their emotional journey, so a bit different from them. But yeah,
Mm. That's okay. Um, that's absolutely fine. I feel there are different kinds of people who some would like to keep it to themselves, and I feel it's a bit difficult as well to just tell everything to somebody. Of course, you won't tell everything, no? So yeah, completely
yeah,
vulnerable is probably not the right word here, but yeah, okay. You could just open up a bit, right?
true
Um,
that. Like you know yourself the best, right? No one knows you more better than you yourself. So yeah.
yeah, 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 that's true. You mentioned romantic relationships. Can we talk
Mhm.
about that
We can talk
to
about
make
that.
this podcast a little interesting?
Yeah,
Um,
sure. Why not?
yeah,
Do you wanna?
yeah.
Sure. What's
Any
the
views
question?
on that? Hey, what? An interesting question. What do you
Okay.
think a girl
Hmm.
expects from a guy in a relationship?
Wow. Don't make it generic. I think it's specific to every girl for that matter. Um,
Yeah.
what do a girl seek in a man from okay, I think we're canceling out the whole gay lesbian thing. Let's not do that. So what
Yeah, yeah.
partner to
Ah.
partner expectations are, okay, in general, from my perspective, what do I seek in a man, or I think girls in general seek in a man. Um, I think a lot would also be bent on understanding and respect, because that's what you seek in a partner, right? That they understand you fully, they respect your decisions, they respect you as a person, they don't impose their decisions on you. So I think these two are more important factors, and trust is a common factor that works both ways. Understanding and respect also works both ways, obviously. But I feel girls are more, from my perspective, maybe girls are more into, that the partner should be understanding enough. Yeah.
Okay. You told though you haven't started anything. I was just going to ask if you've started anything or you have something of your own. So like you said you working on that or you figuring things out, right?
Yeah. So I'm exploring my options out, is the best way to put it. Currently, what am I doing apart from my academics? Would be that I'm trying to study geopolitics. I'm trying to get into other internships to understand all the operations that go into building a startup. At the end, yes, I would like to start my own thing. But currently, I'm in a learning phase, and I want to accept the fact that it's okay to not figure things out right now and learn things on the way, figure your interests on the way. Mm.
Mm-hmm. There's this question I asked Aditya, when we had him on a podcast. So the question was basically, even I go through this confusion that you at times don't understand whether at this point of age you should focus more on learning, gaining
Mm-hmm.
experiences, or build something that you think is probably you're able to relate to. So what do you think? At this point of age, you should be focusing more on gaining experiences or creating or building something.
Depends on the person. There is no one answer to it, honestly. If your calling is, okay, I am crazy about this idea, I want to do this, I want to test out the market, you have confidence in yourself that you can do it,
Yeah.
go ahead. Who is stopping you? But at the same time, just starting out your own startup or starting out whatever that is, for the sake that others are doing it or your peers are doing it, and it's a FOMO for you that you
Yeah.
don't have your own startup. Now, the motivation is the answer, that
Hmm.
what's motivating you to do anything. So, if the motivation is pure pressure and not your internal drive, that's where things mess up.
Great. Great answer. Um, you think that you said right, motivation. Okay. Motivation should come from within. Do you think having a purpose has a role? Or like what is internal motivation for you? Like what does that mean?
What is internal motivation? Try to just do something. How, it's said in Hindi, कीड़ा होना चाहिए आपके अंदर. तो wahi, like, just be passionate about doing stuff. Again, there has been a division that you should follow your passion or you should just do the work and passion apne aap aa jata hai. So, not going there, but the basic sense of just having a drive to do something. So I think there are three kinds of people, right? One is that people who are passionate and they end up doing stuff. Second is people who passionate in the sense they have higher aims and they end up doing that. Second, who are okay with their normal life and they want to go slow and they want to build a normal, comfortable life and not aiming very high in comparison to
Yeah.
society. So, and living to that. So, both these sides of the story are equally good. So, yeah, I think I deviated a bit from your question. What was it again?
No, that's okay. Basically, the thing was like, what is internal motivation or like purpose? What is, do you think having a purpose has some role? That, basically,
Like,
that could
yes,
drive, your passion or the drive to. Yeah.
yes and no. In the sense, if I have a defined 10-year goal and in the end a purpose that I want to be a billionaire, millionaire, uh, that is a good drive, and people do end up following it and doing good. Second is internally that, okay, this is my passion
Yeah.
project. I want to do something in this space. I don't know how, but I'll figure things out. And you end up doing that. So, different kinds of motivation, right? Or a third could be very fixated that, okay, in the next 20 years, I want to be a sitting PM of India. So, depends on the person again, but I believe even fixated purposes, if you're fixated, okay, that I want to join politics, I want to be the PM in the next 20 years, you're building on that lines, you're completely following that. But in the process, you realize that is not your purpose wholeheartedly. You pivot on the second lines from the very
Yeah.
start. You're just figuring out, but you don't have an internal drive. Uh, you're just being lazy. So obviously, purpose will help you move towards things, but not just fixated on that purpose would be a good thing. Like if you know that if you're getting the feel that "Okay, this is not what I'm enjoying or what I want to build, then you must pivot. But yeah, purpose will help you have that internal motivation factor going ahead.
Yep. I feel like one important factor to know if this is your purpose is basically if you're enjoying the process, right? That's one
Hmm.
thing that we keep on hearing, Uh,
Yeah.
of course, this is one factor that helps people identify that, right, this is my purpose, this is what I want to do. Do you think there are any other factors that could help people recognize that, okay, this is my purpose, this is what I want to go into and want to really build something out of it? I feel like there could be some factors.
Can you elaborate more on your question?
I'm saying that, how do we really identify that this is something that, is my purpose, or basically this is what is interesting? Okay. One, I feel is what, in my perspective, what I know is that, you kind of start to have fun in the process while you're building. Okay. That seems as if, okay, that's your thing. So it helps you identify that, okay, that's my drive. That's how I want to, do it. Any other factor, or maybe why to start your own thing, or to know your purpose?
Yeah, cool. Next question. So I divided into two people or two kinds of people, as in one would be bit talking about work-life balance over here. There are people who think that work is a means of getting a better, luxurious life. So let me work continuously 70 hours a week or something like that for 10 years, build money, and then enjoy life. And so basically, money is my purpose for 10
Yeah.
years, and then later I enjoy life. Second would be that
Yeah.
I want to have work is my life in the sense work is who I am, and I want to enjoy as well as work at the same time. So the notions between work life balance are a bit blurring. Work is your life for some, and work is not life for some. So depending on the person you are, you have your internal motivations. You find your own purpose in the sense maybe the second person, as in work is your life. Obviously, then that person needs to enjoy the work they're in. But if I'm talking about the first kind of person, they just want money at the end, and they think that it is a gateway to my pleasures, my luxuries. They need not enjoy the process per se. They will go to the shortest or the most money making business. Both are fine. It depends on the
Yeah.
person.
What kind of person are you? First one or the second
And
one?
second.
Second one. Okay. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, dude. Same page.
What about you?
Cool.
I'm getting
Yeah,
guessing
same
second.
page, man.
Same page. Okay, good. Mhm.
Second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay. Shifting the topic a bit, do you feel, have you had some experiences where you've been anxious? I've had
Plenty.
these experiences. Yeah. Yeah. Any
Mhm.
it's absolutely fine if you don't, but if you'd like to share one, or like any instance, what happens actually? Like, like how is it? How does it look like?
Cool. One thing that is very prominent in terms of anxiousness was that I was in 12th grade and our school would open up head girl elections for the very first time. So I wanted to be in the student council, but 12th graders, this time they had changed this process and they only allowed 12th graders to be the head girl and not any other, like I didn't qualify for any other position in the student council being in 12th. So I had a choice to either go for full in head girl or don't apply at all. So I was anxious at that point of time. Should I go in? Should I not? It's too much. And every other insecurity comes along. Like, what if I fail? And the more
Yeah.
anxious, funny part was that what if I win? And failing is fine. But what if I do end up
Oh,
winning the
yeah.
whole thing? Then the
Hmm.
responsibility is
Uh,
crazy. And
People will know
can I
me.
carry it?
Yeah,
Yeah, can
responsibilities.
I carry it?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
was the anxious part that okay, winning is also a problem. So that's what I first understood. So I think you talked about failure in starting, right? Sometimes winning is also that brings the anxiousness that okay, what if this happens? Then it'll be a lot to take in. But then, like I said, I just gave it a shot for the sake of giving it a shot that देखा जाएगा क्या होता है. So let's just give our best. And so yeah, then I did end up winning whatever. So anxiousness, yeah, that would be one episode of me getting anxious.
Basically, you're like, okay, you're very confused. What and then even winning starts to feel like, oh God, what if I win? What if responsibilities start to hit in and all of that stuff, right? It kind of looks like that. Yeah,
Yes.
cool. Uh, hmm. I learned some techniques to overcome this type of a thing. Oh, we've talked
Sorry?
about this though, like self-love and all. Positive affirmations, you said, right? These
Yeah.
are the
What's
stuff
your
you
take on it?
you do.
Mhm.
I'd
What's your
say
take on
there are
getting
plenty
over
of things.
anxiousness?
One major thing that I have started, like I started after my experience was meditation. Uh,
Yes.
Pretty constant. So yeah, that helps. That helps.
Wow. Yes.
Um,
I
yeah,
am
and
a bit jealous of you, to be honest, because I'm not consistent in meditation. But I've heard from the people, and
that's fine,
yes,
dude.
obviously it does
Yeah,
help. Everyone should do it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, you
Yes.
said that you just came from the gym.
Huh.
You take physical health अच्छे से, like it's your priority, huh? Is it? Because I
To be honest, I'm in
mentioned
the.
that
Go
taking
ahead.
care of your physical health is also one factor that helps you. Yeah, my bad. Sorry. Go on.
No, no. Agree. Like talking about me, am I true? Is my physical health my first priority in life? No, my parents would disagree. The kind of habits I've built over time, the the sleeping schedule. I think the whole fraternity of primary degree, secondary degree, everyone will agree it's so bad. Um, so
It
I'm
is.
kind of trying my bit is my save here, but yeah, it should it's on my list of 2026 things. Get your physical health straight, get your
Bucket
diet,
list.
sleep schedule better. Yeah, more like affirmations for 2026. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
Mm.
Cool. What else is left? If we've talked almost about everything. Hey, do
You
you
tell me
do
why.
you yeah, yeah.
Why, what made you start this? Like, was it some internal requirement of talking on mental health, or you just felt that there's a gap, or you wanted to connect to a BBADB, or what's your like, or network with peers, like-minded people. So why did you start this?
Okay, so honestly, it is all three. Okay, it is a
Okay.
mix of all three. Um, yeah, I've had an experience that made me made me start this thing, or basically pay attention to the mental health stuff, especially for the young ones. Um, Secondly, of course, like when I had this experience, as I said, I started observing more of what was going on with other people. So I saw some of the people around, like my friends and, yeah, people younger than me. So even they were going through a similar kind of a situation, and what kind of a situation? Basically, figuring out stuff, not being able to, cope up, say, with the right kind of friendships or the academic pressure. So yeah, that was one part, and I was like, okay, dude, अब ये तो बीबीए डीबी वाला भी फैक्टर आ गया, अब लोगों से बात भी करनी है, तो चलो यार पॉडकास्ट भी कर लेते हैं. So it's basically catering to all of the three factors that you just said. So yeah.
No, great, great, great initiative.
Thanks. Thanks, yeah. Um, you said you're a part of partnership cell, huh?
No, media cell. More specifically, we're talking about
Oh,
it.
media cell.
It's
My bad.
Epoch. Yeah, it's completely fine. It's Epoch. It's a newsletter. BBDB's official publication. So made by students. Yeah.
Uh, See, I think that I've seen you doing a podcast with Suresh sir. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Huh? See,
Yes,
yeah.
you
Oh
are.
shit. Now this is a crazy podcast that we've done with Vamika Jain. Yeah.
No, no, it's
How was it? How was it?
it was great. I wish it was offline, but it was great. Uh, Actually, it was like I mentioned during Epoch. It was to cover an article and talk about this degree at length. Got to know for fresh perspective, and he ended up calling that batch one. We joke around ourselves that we are the experiment batch, and he gave it a new term, which is tolerance ambiguity. So I mean, kind of positive reinforcement that because we are ambiguous about each and every pathway wherever this degree goes. Oh, we have built that tolerance ambiguity in ourselves. So that was fresh.
Hey, cool, yeah. There's this, then the queen of podcast sitting in front of me, huh?
Oh, please no. Just do one. That's too much to take.
Where is
I
this
think you're being
podcast,
modest.
dude? Where can we see that podcast?
I did not publish it, to be honest, but now I feel I should have. If you can see that podcast in the form of an article I ended up writing, yeah,
Yeah.
in volume two, yeah. But are you much of a reader? But then people do like listening podcasts more, right? Hmm.
Cool. Done a crazy podcast there. That's great. That's great.
I kind of lost
Cool,
you. Come
yeah.
again.
Any other? I'm saying we've done a crazy podcast then. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes. I think you've been very modest. You've done quite a great number, and no, you cannot put it on me.
Yeah. That's fine. Cool. Any other questions? Any other thing you'd like to talk? Because I am done with my questions, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. People in
Yeah.
general, or more like my male friends, they end up thinking that male friendships are better than female friendships at hand. So I want to know your view about it, or how your audience thinks about it.
Oh, cool. See, the fact that uh, guys showed up before girls on this podcast is a fact that, okay, yeah, maybe, of course, I feel like guys are a bit more socially aware, and
Yeah.
and emotionally less chaotic. And I'm not saying that it's a fault on a girl's part, but it's basically the biology, you see. I feel like it's hormones and everything that we have. And there's so much that we have to carry within ourselves that I feel like at times we do get a bit more chaotic on the emotional part. And for that reason, I feel like friendship doesn't really, I wouldn't say it doesn't stick, but I feel when two women come together, they get a bit more emotional, and it gets a bit chaotic at that point, because friendship after all is an emotional concept, I believe. So I feel, and yeah, I mean, see, and so of course friendships with guys is cool. It does help, but I'm not neglecting the women friendships as well, because I feel like, yeah, feminine energy is also, as I said, we talked, self-love and everything. If we regulate those hormones, I believe that feminine energy and self-love that we kind of possess is could even be more helpful than what guys could give as friends. So yeah,
Okay. I kind of have a
that's my
contrarian
take.
opinion over there.
Let's
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Which
Go
is
ahead.
that no, the answer is no, they're not better friendships at all. Female friendships are as good as male friendships, and at hand even better, because they understand you more, they understand your perspective more. The fact that the way female friendships think about what you want rather than imposing things in you. I'm not saying male friendships are bad, but male to male, they're emotionally less connected. And I would say female to female, they are bit more invested in each other's emotions. So
Yeah,
rather than getting chaotic, it's for the best that female friendships end up getting better because they're more emotionally connected. So yeah, that's my take. And I believe the kind of friendships I
yeah,
had uphold
yeah,
to that. So not saying that male friendships are not
yeah,
emotionally connected. They are, have great many male friends. But yeah, one should not put a label on female friendships like that. So that was like my peace offering to this
yeah.
podcast
Sure.
that do not
So I
compare like
knew
that.
that this question was, yeah, it was a curveball question.
It was
I
a curveball
mean,
course.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a curveball. Yeah. One of like my biggest friend at this point of time is my sister. So I can be sure I really agree to you what you said. So yeah, that's
Mhm.
cool. Um
That's crazy. I
yeah,
also have a sister,
yeah. Younger one.
younger one. Let's go, elder sister energy. I have a younger sister, yes.
Yeah.
I think then elder
Cool.
sisters, uh they have pros. I don't know, the people may disagree, but they're just better. No, my younger sister will
They
kill
have
me for it.
pros.
I just they're better than the younger sisters. No, I'm joking. My younger sister will kill me for it.
Oh, okay.
We are all equally good.
Yeah. Even this is a curveball. Okay, you can't. It's
So go
contradictory. Yeah.
for it. It is not. Hmm. Hmm.
Well, yeah. Nice talking to you. Yeah. Loved it.
Yeah, it's lovely talking to you as well. Great set of questions. Had a really good chat.
Just been.
Good day.
Thank you. Thank you.